This week in Jamaica Now, government abandons original South Coast Highway plan, but unveils what the Prime Minister says is a better option. Private sector group says it will reject the move to make income tax retroactive. Highly anticipated Tivoli Report released. It says the government should say sorry and compensate the people of West Kingston, and never again should certain police and military officers participate in internal security operations. And the GSAT results are out, the story of a Clarendon boy who defied the odds. The details of these and other stories coming up after the break.
Wherever in the world we are, Jamaica is with us. In our hearts, in the way we talk, in the way we walk. In the Gleaner. Access Jamaican news anytime, anywhere, on your smartphone, tablet or computer. Stay on top of what I want by reading today. Stay informed with your #1 Jamaican news source, The Gleaner. Become a digital subscriber today at www.jamaica-gleaner.com. Anytime, anywhere.
I'm Damian Mitchell, and this is Jamaica Now. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has confirmed the scrapping of the plans announced under the previous administration for the South Coast Highway from Harbourview in East Kingston to Port Antonio in Portland. But he has unveiled what he calls a better plan that will see a 4-lane highway from Harbourview to Bull Bay in St. Andrew, and the upgrading of the road network from Bull Bay to Morant Bay, Morant Bay to Port Antonio, and Morant Bay to Cedar Valley.
We believe this is a far more cost-effective plan, as it will reduce the need for massive land acquisition. In fact, under the former plan, there would be a cost of approximately $120 million US dollars to acquire land and other civil infrastructure to establish a new road.
The report of the West Kingston Commission of Inquiry has been released, with the Sir David Simmons-led tribunal recommending that the government apologize in Parliament to the people of Tivoli Gardens and compensate residents for damages arising from the 2010 police military operation aimed at capturing then-fugitive Christopher Dudus Coke. The commissioners have also recommended that the Jamaica Defence Force Motor Officer, Major Warrington Dixon, and a number of high-ranking members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, including Assistant Commissioners Donovan Graham and Wintroy Badu, be barred from leading or otherwise participating in future internal security operations. You can view the full report at jamaica-gleaner.com/Tivoli Report. The private sector organization of Jamaica says it will be maintaining strict opposition to the decision of the administration to make retroactive the 30% income tax on earnings above $6 million a year. The Chief Corporate Communications Officer of Tax Administration Jamaica, Maurice Horton, says the new rate announced for July 1 will apply for the full calendar year, and so persons in the $6 million income bracket will have to pay the government taxes on income earned between January and June. The Attorney General Marlene Malahoo Fort sparked huge controversy this week after tweeting that the flying of the rainbow flag at the U.S. Embassy in Kingston disrespected Jamaican laws. The opposition Senator Katie Knight was among those who flogged Mrs. Malahoo Fort, saying she should be fired.
I'm not going to talk about the Attorney General, how she don't know that foreign embassies are on foreign land. I'm not going to talk about that. But when things like that reach all like BBC News and all over Europe, for the good of the country, I am saying to Prime Minister, add Attorney General to Chuck's portfolio. And the present Attorney General, you're young. Go understand these issues. And when you learn it, you can come back again.
Meanwhile, the U.S. Embassy in Kingston says it is satisfied about the commitment of the Jamaican government to human rights following the comments of Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Amid the firestorm, the Prime Minister expressed condolences to the Americans and said that the bullet of terrorism does not know gender, class, or sexual orientation. The results of the Grade 6 Achievement Test GSAT were released this week, showing that 81% of students were placed in a high school of their choice. The results also showed marginal improvements in language arts, social studies, mathematics, and science, but there was a 2.5 percentage point decline in communication tasks. The Andrews Memorial Hospital in Kingston is coming under pressure following its decision to write to employees saying they may be disciplined, including dismissed, for committing adultery, fornication, sexual harassment, lewd and lascivious behavior, theft, and murder. Blaine Fitzgerald Stoddart, the president and chairman of the Better Living Center in Pennsylvania, USA, has described the move as morally reprehensible. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. You may tune in to Power 106 FM for regular updates. Follow us on Twitter at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. I'm Damian Mitchell, and before we go, the story of triumph over adversity of a Clarendon GSAT scholar.
It was hard knowing that I could never get a good studying program.
His struggles were real, studying night and day between trips to the hospital to visit his ill father right until his death 2 months before the GSAT.
My mother, after the death of my father, she really motivated me because I started to cry every single day. She started to motivate me to study almost every single night and day.
Was there anything else that made it difficult for you to focus?
My grandma and grandpa, they were sick and they had to be in the hospital. And my mom also, on the weekends, would have to go over to Kingston and come back over for Monday morning, or either would come back over on Sunday evening. I'm really happy because I really wanted to pass the Glenmere.
And as Othniel moves on to the Glenmuir High School, his eyes are set on becoming a physiotherapist.
I want to be a physiotherapist because when my dad was sick, the doctors really helped him, and I just want to pass that back on to other people.